Welcome to Bildie's Bizarro Bedtime. I'm Maddie.
Hello, I'm Bill.
We sound very husky today.
That's terrible.
That's my husband, Bill. Together we form the Bildie.
I was thinking he sounds more like a kind of like a ladies' man. He sounds
Do you
more
think? I thought he sounded poorly. And this is my friend of many, many years, Stephen Waring, aka Weaven, aka Lo-Fi Guy, if you want to look at his art. So hello.
Hello! Don't go to my website, it's rubbish.
You're not supposed to say
There's four paintings on there and they're all about 3 years old and it hasn't been updated for years.
And he's working on it though, aren't you?
I've been working on it for about 3 years, so we're getting
he's
there.
a very good artist anyway. Go to his Twitter. You're more likely to see stuff there. And I'll put that somewhere in the description.
You better.
He's getting cocky.
He's showing off.
We haven't seen each other for months.
No.
So it's all a bit overexciting, really. Okay, so let's begin. I'll start the first story. I'll just do a quick one, really, because there's three of us, and you know.
Okay, mine. I don't know. I might not do a quick one. I just going to do
Don't worry.
The normal length.
We'll just see. Yeah. Okay, so give me the name of a.
Well, I think we've got the special guest here. I think we should give you a name.
You give me a character, like a name.
Sorry about that. No, that wasn't his name.
It was Sneeze.
I could be, couldn't it?
Sneeze.
Sneeze.
Okay, so he's a little boy called.
Yeah, little boy called Sneeze.
And he has trouble making friends because they point out that his name is a little bit weird.
Yeah.
But you know, I mean, it's
not a nickname then. It's his actual name.
His actual name. His
parents have called him Sneeze.
Yes.
I think his parents are more questionable.
He was born during an epidemic.
And rather than taking their minds off the whole thing, his parents wanted to sort of fully
confront it face on.
And called their child Sneeze.
Like a demon.
Yeah, like Damien, but
Sneeze.
Sniffly.
A more fun demon.
Yeah.
It's actually Bill's vape that made me cough. It's not a disease. It's not an actual real.
I better blow it. I'll have to blow it somewhere else.
You do blow it into my face.
That's not intentional.
I'm a delicate.
Aggressively.
Yeah. Well, you can get away with it, can't you? I'm a delicate little snowflake, like Tiny Tim, basically.
Yeah.
That's me.
I sing this song to him. Little Victorian boy.
You do.
Little Victorian.
Okay, let's get back to the story.
Okay, yeah, sorry. Okay, so Sneeze. There's a new sweet shop that's opened in town and everyone's really excited about it. It's called Mr Chuffington's Chuffing Good Chuffers. It's what? Does that mean something? I don't know.
No, it just sounds not in my mind, it sounds rude, but
yeah,
it's not in my
slightly
mind.
Sordid. Is it sordid?
Yeah. Chuffers.
That's not really. I mean, a chuffer. I don't even. To be honest, it's a word that we used to use at school, but I'm not even entirely sure.
I think if you smoke a lot, you might be chuffing a lot, don't you?
No, it wasn't meant.
Like Thomas the Tank Engine.
Chuff.
It was used more in the sense of if you didn't like someone. I remember a friend of mine used to say it about someone and called him a chuffer or something because she thought I don't know. It's school stuff. It's stupid. Anyway.
Yeah.
So
Mr Chuffington's Chuffing Good Chuffers.
Yes, Chuffing Good Chuffers. And it just sprouted overnight. It seemed to just sort of spurt out of the ground and reach really high into the sky with a big neon sign saying Mr Chuffington's Chuffing Good Chuffers.
Oh, I like that.
It's got like a spinning wheel and all the, like whistles and stuff.
So
should be a Japanese animation.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a sweet shop.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like really magical looking.
Yeah.
Fun fairy,
exactly, yeah. And everyone's excited. Sneeze goes and has a look round with the other kids. They take them on a school trip and Sneeze notices that something's going on in the back room. So he leaves his class as they're being shown around and sneaks towards the back room. I know, yeah, it's
Never
not advisable.
No.
Do not leave the other students.
No.
And in the back room, he notices a man with a curly moustache, like a Victorian villain, and a top hat, is squeezing some kind of, what's that, pipette? It's called a pipette, isn't it?
Yeah, to draw water up and then drop.
Well,
drops of water.
it's dropping like this weird coloured stuff all over the shortbread.
Okay.
And so Sneeze is like, oh my god, what's going on here?
Yeah.
He's putting some sort of poison, or is
Yeah.
it like...
Dosing
So he
them up,
says,
or-
what are you doing? And the man turns around and he's like, you shouldn't be in here, and he's very angry.
Right.
And the other kids and the teacher notices that he's not there. She hears all the yelling and runs to the back room. And he said, what's his name again? Mr. Chuffer.
Mr. Chuffer.
Chuffington's
Yeah.
Chuffington,
Mr.
that's it,
Chuffington.
yeah. He says, don't worry, kids, and he picks up one of the shortbreads and puts it in his mouth.
So is that what a chuffer is in this? Mr. Chuffington's chuffing good chuffers. Is a chuffer a shortbread?
No,
It's not.
it's an idea.
A chuffer, so he's selling ideas. Okay.
Well, he's not selling ideas,
No.
but it is an idea of good sweets
Okay.
and things.
Mr. Chuffington's. Okay. Continue.
So he eats the shortbread
Yeah.
and he like disappears for a minute and
Right.
then reappears and says that's all it does, and everyone's like, well, that looked weird, where did you go?
Yeah.
And he said, well, why don't you try one? Why don't you try one, Sneeze? And the teacher says, well, no, perhaps I'd better do it. And he goes, no, let Sneeze do it. And the teacher's like, well, okay, 'cause she's really irresponsible.
Yes, that is irresponsible. Yeah, let weird Mr.
Yeah.
Chuffington give a dosed up shortbread to.
To a small child.
Yeah.
In a world of pure imagination.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Definitely. So, Sneeze takes the shortbread from him and feels like loads of pressure from everyone to eat it. And so he does. And then suddenly he's in like this world of floating octopi or octopuses, whichever. It's actually
Octopuses.
not octopi, it's octopuses,
Yeah,
but
octopuses,
everyone
yeah.
says octopi now.
Octopus's
And they're
garden.
Yeah, and they're floating around, and they say, oh, hello, nice of you to join us. And he says, oh my god, who are you? And they say, well, we're the elder gods, but everyone's kind of waiting and hoping that we'll come and destroy everything. But to be honest, we're pretty good just hanging out here. We found a better place. It's boring on Earth. So, you know, and then he didn't get a chance to finish his sentence because Sneeze reappeared back at the sweet shop and everything was fine.
Wow. And
Gee.
he shared his story with
The newspaper.
the newspaper, which is where you read it.
Yeah,
I see.
exactly. And
Yeah.
that really happened.
That
Yes.
really happened, and you always believe everything that you read, especially in
Yes.
tabloids.
Especially
Yes,
the Sun.
especially the Daily Mail
Yes.
and the Sun.
Yes.
Yes.
I instantly believe everything they say because
Yes.
I know that they wouldn't lie to me.
They would never lie to
Absolutely.
you about anything.
Okay, go on.
Okay, my turn next then. Okay, pick a name and a gender.
Sophie.
Oh, she's female.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Female Sophie. Okay, so Sophie is actually a pigeon.
Okay.
It's not a human being. Sophie the pigeon. And she
Could have been Sophia Loren, as in.
it could have been so.
He knew that joke would have killed me, so you had to go doo to bring me
But
back
you
to
chose a
life.
pigeon, so you blew that one.
I
didn't
blew
you?
that one, yeah.
Yeah.
So Sophie the pigeon lives in Trafalgar Square.
Mhm.
Yeah, because it's with all her friends, loads of
Yeah.
them.
Are they pigeons
It's like a
too?
cock-
They're all pigeons.
Ah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like a
yeah.
commune at Trafalgar Square.
Yeah, if
isn't
you've ever
it?
seen it,
I love
they're
it.
everywhere.
Yeah.
And you've got Nelson's Column and that, and you always see like the feet walking past of the humans, and they feed the pigeons. And Sophie always dreams of becoming a human. So she asks around. She's like, "Ooh, ooh, ooh." But obviously they understand, so I'll translate. So she's like, "Oh, Brian, do you know anyone who can help me become human?" He's like, "No, not really.
It's gonna cost you.
You're a pigeon."
He's a negative Nelly, that Brian.
Yeah,
He's definitely the wrong
we're
person
all born
to ask.
as animals. If you're born a pigeon, you stay a pigeon. So she asked someone else. Eventually, she comes across someone who's like, "Look, I'm not supposed to tell you this, but if you go round the back of Nelson's column, there's a pigeon there, bit scruffy looking. I've heard that he knows something. He might be able to help you out.
He knows something.
He got the knowledge.
He knows a man who knows a man who knows a man who knows
about
a dog.
He used to drive a cab.
Used to drive a cab.
But his beak fell off.
Yeah. He tried to drive a cab once, but he couldn't because he's a pigeon.
Didn't have any hands.
Yeah. So anyway, Sophie walks around and goes, "Oh, are you this guy who can help me maybe become a human?" That's something I've always wanted to do.
It's like the Little Mermaid, but with pigeons, isn't it?
Yes, I would assume so.
Have you not seen The Little Mermaid?
Years ago, can't remember the plot.
I don't know how you don't know it off by heart.
I haven't seen it actually.
You haven't? Oh my god! Okay, carry on.
I haven't seen The Lion King. I've seen the musical.
Oh, I've seen The Lion King.
I've seen the stage show thingy.
I don't understand how that happened. How you could have been children and not.
No.
Okay, go on.
Anyway,
I'm older than you.
She talks to the scruffy pigeon. He's like, "Look, I know someone. If you go round there, over by them steps over there, by that group of, at the moment there's a group of teenagers there. You speak to that pigeon." She goes over. He says, "Yeah, look, word has it. Like, I don't know if this is true, but it's worth trying. If you fly above Nelson's column, and you manage to poo on his bum, yeah." You'll become human.
This is a bird poo thing again. Didn't you do a bird poo story before? Yes, you did. Yeah, you're obsessed with bird.
Maybe there'll be a trilogy.
Yeah.
Maybe next time
yeah,
you
the
can.
bird poo trilogy.
So anyway, Sophie tries. It's quite difficult. It's almost impossible. So she spends every day constantly eating to get the poo, obviously, and then to fly. She's flying over Nelson's column, and she's trying to get it right. So when she poos, it drops and just lands on Nelson Column's bum, and she spends months. Yeah. Doesn't happen. It's so hard. It's too
Wouldn't
hard.
she be better, sort of like flying, like crashing into it with and then turning around at the last second and spraying over it, sort of
much
thing.
too difficult.
Because hitting the bum from up high would be very difficult, one would think.
Yeah, well, it is, but it would be too dangerous to fly at the column.
Oh right,
it's much too difficult for a pigeon.
He's got a very hard bum, that Nelson.
Yeah. So it's solid iron.
Solid.
Solid iron arms.
Iron bum.
Yeah.
Like yours.
Yeah.
Iron bottom.
Definitely.
Ian Botham. Iron bottom.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, so months and months trying. She flies over, and one day, it's a beautiful day, sunny day. She manages to do it.
Wow.
And as she does it, as the poo hits the bottom, when she flies over, she turns into a human, and she just falls to the ground. And why are you laughing?
Sorry.
This is
very
terrible.
serious.
Yeah, she lands on the concrete slabs below from the height, taller than Nelson's column, and she breaks both her legs but survives.
Oh, okay.
The ambulance is called, obviously. People were just gathering around going, "Oh my god, what's happened?"
Is she naked?
Yes.
Right.
A naked lady has fallen from the sky and landed on the floor, and she looks, to all intents and purposes, potentially severely injured. Yeah. Potentially dead. Call an ambulance. She's taken off to hospital. No one knows who she is. It's a mystery.
She's a Terminator.
She says her name's Sophie, but no one knows Sophie who. Well, she doesn't know. She's saying she's a pigeon, right? And they all think, "What? This is no. Who are you? Seriously?" No, I don't know. I'm a pigeon. I live at Trafalgar Square, and everyone's confused. And she tries to tell them that they're not having it. Anyway, they take her to the psychiatric ward, and they're basically you know, obviously they've got to fix her legs and her body and that, but then after that they've got to deal with what she's claiming. So she's been in interviews, and at the end she's sticking with her story because it's the truth. But the psychologist is sort of saying, look, I can't do anything with her. We don't know who she is. We're going to have to just integrate her back into society. You know, we're going to have to give her an identity or something. So the government just have to. So they give her a name, Sophie Pigeon. And send her off. Give her a job at a mill.
Right.
Yeah.
Because she's into like seed and
yeah.
Makes sense.
What she asks. Yeah, can I get a job at a mill or something like that?
Does she eat birdseed?
When she gets near the mill and they start showing her what to do, like, you know, her head just starts bopping down really really hard into the barrels of seed, and they all sort of think it's really a bit worrying and weird.
Yes.
But she does a good job. And all she ever eats is white bread and seed.
Yeah.
And no one really. They just think she's a man. It's like a mystery. It's like a what's the word where you get these myths?
A fairy tale.
It's like a
folk tale.
Yeah, it's like a myth that's. Yeah, I can't remember the word.
Anyway.
Yeah, so it's a myth. Yeah, and that's the story of the woman who behaves like who appears out of nowhere.
Yes.
Only eats bread and seed and thinks she's a pigeon, but she actually is.
Okay, Weaven, it's your turn.
Well, there's we've got a name. Got to come up with a name and a.
Okay, yeah. Do you want to do it?
You can do what you like, really.
Oh, okay.
Do you want us to pick it? It's up to you.
Go on then.
What are we picking? Character.
A name.
Is it male, female? Doesn't matter.
Whatever.
You're good with names. You can come up with weird names.
Jabinji.
Okay. And Jabinji. Okay, Jabinji was born to a king and queen. Although the queen wasn't the real queen, she was like a concubine.
Yeah.
But she was a queen in all but name, sort of thing.
Yeah.
All but title. And Jabinji. Jabinji was like, oh, I'm brilliant. I'm going to be the heir to this throne and that. And Jabinji's sort of like, sort of walking around. Hey, I'm brilliant. And then his dad, the king, says, you are brilliant, aren't you? From now on, we're going to change your name. It can be God. We're just going to refer to you as God. So, I quite like the idea of being God.
Yeah.
So. Jabinji sort of like, hey, I'm God. Yeah. And then this
he sounds quite arrogant and a bit annoying, this Jabinji, doesn't he? God, or God.
He is, but everyone keeps telling him he's got a kind of underlying what do you call it, maturity. And
he's immature.
No. He's to the outside world. He's completely opposite. It's only in his inner circle that he's like with his mum, his dad, and his cousin Jabonja. They're all kind of like, they all know he's a bit sort of up himself, but generally to the outside world, he's wonderful, you know. Anyway, an old man shows up in a hood. An old hooded man shows up and says, would you like to stick your head in this crevice? and he says, Jabinji, who's quite a daring young boy, and he's a very confident young man. It's okay. So he sticks his head in this crevice. And they go, ooh, this is a bit weird. And then the old boy says, yes, you are the chosen one. You must go forth into the galaxy. And then
it's turned into Star Wars.
Pretty much. And so Jabinji said, oh, blimey, I better go and buy a spaceship.
But it's called God now, is it?
I'm referring to Jabinji, but I can because I'm the author.
Yeah, of course.
But obviously...
everyone knows him as God.
Everyone knows him as God.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
And so he's not allowed out of the castle. He doesn't really know anything about the real world. So he goes up to his mate, who's sort of like his trainer, his personal trainer sort of thing, and he says, could you possibly let me out so I can go and find a spaceship? He goes, oh, yeah, okay, you can borrow mine, here's some keys. So he gives him his keys, and he walks out into the garage of the palace, and there's like an old Ford Escort Mark II there, and he's like, oh, and he says, I like the fluffy dice and really cool, and he said, thanks, I got them special, I knew you'd like them, you see. And so he got in there and he drove off into the galaxy
in the car. No, he didn't go and look for a spaceship. He just drove.
It's a spaceship car.
Oh, I see.
It flies.
Right.
Oh, keep with the program, man.
Gotcha. Sorry.
He's so logical.
And
I have to clarify everything.
And so it's flying around the universe. He's going, oh, I'm the king, and everyone's like, oh, and then he decides, oh, actually, I'd quite like to be an evil king, and then he goes down and he sort of like starts being horrible to everybody and like throwing things out of the car onto the...
I kind of saw it coming.
Yeah.
I felt like he was going to do that.
And so he was like, he flew down to one planet in particular, a very peaceful planet.
Yeah.
And he thought, they're a bit annoying because they're all kind of like holier than thou. They're kind of like nice, too nicey, and I'm going to show them. So he got some sweet wrappers, and he was like throwing them out the car at them. Like, I'll show you, and they're like, you horrible man. They and then he flies about, and then he crash lands the car. They're like, but they're like, people actually see him crash land, but no one calls the emergency services or anything because they're like, oh, he's horrible. Threw sweet wrappers at us, and I'm out of the car window. He's horrible. Of the Escort, so Mark II. So so they just let him rot in the sand. This desert of the planet was he's landed near the equator, and it's very hot there. And then he turns into a slug.
Oh,
okay.
Was he? Can I just clarify? Was he actually God? Is that like your version of God? Or was he just called God because his king liked the name, or was he actually God?
Nobody actually knows, because this is much like your story. This is kind of like kind of a myth. This has become myth over the centuries. It's become kind of like it's the chocolate. Yeah. It's become like folklore or myth or whatever. Yeah. So
it's gone down in history as a story.
To some kind of like religious sects, they refer to him as being like the chosen one through time, and others think that he's a heretic and all of that sort of thing.
What if there's a planet of creatures who believe in Jabinji as a god and worship Jabinji, but they just think that Jabinji is a right a-hole, like they can't stand them.
Yeah.
So what, they worship him, but they can't stand Jabinji, God, man.
They worship him, but they can't stand him.
Yeah.
So it's like self-punishment, like worshipping someone that you hate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe. I can see that happening. Anyway, okay, so I think that was Bildie's Bizarro Bedtime Christmas special.
Woo.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you very much for contributing.
Happy holidays.
Mr. Lo-Fi Guy, a.k.a...
Merry all the other holidays as well, and not just Christmas.
Sorry if I offended any religious types with my God...
you don't need to
don't worry about that.
Don't start any religion based on that.
No.
Okay, bye.
Bye.